Update 6.2.2 is not a small patch. It brings new planets, a new enemy variant, a new warbond, and a lot of balance changes. But the biggest headline is clearly the Exosuit Rebalance, because the mechs are now harder to break, harder to cripple, and more usable in real missions. So in this video, I want to go through the most important changes in 6.2.2 and focus on the ones that will actually change how the game feels. The biggest change in 6.2.2 is clearly the Exosuit Rebalance. Arrowhead basically agreed with the community here. Exosuits were too fragile, especially against automatons, so this patch gives them a bigger durability pass. The main health pool goes from 850 to 1600, which is a big jump. And now the Exosuit only dies when that main health pool is actually depleted. Before, it could die just because specific health zones were destroyed, like legs. The arms also got stronger. Their health goes from 350 to 600, and they now get 50% explosion resistance too, just like the main body. There are also two other changes that matter a lot in real gameplay. First, exosuits no longer lose all mobility when both legs are broken. Second, they can now be staggered, but that stagger does not stop them from shooting. So overall, this is not a small buff. However, there is still one catch. Arrowhead also increased enemy durable damage in multiple places, but they do not say exactly how much. So even though exosuits are clearly much tougher on paper, we still need testing to judge their real state after the patch. The update also adds 2 new planet biomes and 1 new terminid variant. The first new planet is the easier one to describe. It is basically a much more peaceful looking forest biome with lush green terrain, winding paths, and trees creating a lot of shade. At least for now, it does not seem to have some big special gameplay gimmick like a volcano or anything like that. It just feels more atmospheric. The second new planet is not available yet, so right now we can only judge it from space. Compared to the forest biome, it looks much darker, harsher, and much less welcoming. So even though we have not played on it yet, it already feels like it will have a much rougher mood. And for now, these new planets seem to be tied to the terminid front. The new enemy is the Spore Burst Titan. At first glance, it looks like a Bile Titan variant, but instead of the usual green spit, it launches a red Spore Burst. That attack seems to do less direct damage than a normal Bile Titan spit, but it strongly ragdolls you. Some players are also saying that the red spore cloud speeds up nearby terminids. I have noticed something similar too, but as of now, I would still treat that part as unconfirmed. The new warbond is Exo Experts, and it is very clearly built around exosuits. It includes 2 new exosuits, 1 new primary, 1 new secondary, 1 support weapon, and a new armor passive. The new primary is the SMG-203 Gallant SMG. It has a very high fire rate, but honestly to me it feels pretty weak. The new armor passive is Oxygenerator, which boosts movement speed, and to me that sounds more like the inverse of something like extra padding than a very exciting new perk. There is also a new expandable support weapon, the MGX-42 Bulletstorm. I do not think it looks especially useful overall, but I can see it fitting into some builds. The main idea is that it has a fast cooldown, and 1 cooldown gives you 2 light machine gun style weapons. The new secondary is the P-33 missile pistol. It fires guided missiles, and I do like how it feels, but the ammo count looks very limited. But the real point of this warbond is the 2 new exosuits. The first one is the Exo 51 Lumbra Exosuit. It has a flamethrower on the left arm and an anti-tank cannon on the right, and after a few missions I actually liked it quite a lot, especially against terminids. The second one is the Exo 55 Breakthrough Exosuit. It has a shield on the left arm that you can melee with, and a heavy flak cannon on the right. This one also felt pretty fun to me against terminids. I think the real reason to care about Exo Experts is the 2 new exosuits. There are also a few other important buffs in this patch that players will feel immediately. The first one is gas. Gas now also slows enemies by 25% when they become confused by it, so it is no longer just a panic effect. Now it also gives you real movement control against smaller targets. Then there is the ballistic shield. Its health goes from 600 to 1000, which is a very noticeable buff. The spear also goes from 3 to 4 missiles, which is a simple but strong change. And the Flame Sentry got a huge buff too. Its range goes from 20 meters to 34, its damage goes up by 50%, and it now panics enemies faster. Even the Laser Sentry got a small sustained buff with higher heat capacity. On the enemy side, the Hive Guard change is one of the biggest. Its head and front legs now have heavy armor instead of medium, but the body and claws are weaker, and the body health is lower too. So it is tankier from the front in some very specific spots, but softer in the middle. And yes, this is a pretty big change, because things like the Gatling Sentry will not just shred through the front in the same way anymore. The Heavy Devastator also got a very meaningful change. Its shield is now destructible, and it drops it when destroyed. The War Strider got a useful nerf too, because its leg-hip joints now go from heavy armor to medium, and then there are the tanks. You do not need to remember every single number here. The simple version is that the main body and the rear weak points are both tankier now, so tanks should be harder to burst down in a simple way. And then, along with all of that, there are smaller changes too. Flesh mobs can no longer clip through objects while charging. Enemy visibility and hearing are now affected more by bad weather, and there are also several smaller buffs to melee weapons and tools, but those are not the kind of changes I would spend too much time on in this video. The exosuit changes are the biggest part of the patch, and they are the reason this patch matters the most. The new biomes and the new enemy variant are also nice additions, and they definitely help the patch feel more substantial. Then on top of that, there are a few other important balance changes that players will notice pretty quickly. But if there is one thing to focus on here, it is definitely the Exosuit Rebalance, because that is the change that has the biggest chance to affect how the game actually feels. And in the next video, I want to take a closer look at that part specifically and see how the exosuits actually feel after the patch. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to support the channel extra, you can also join as a member. There are 2 tiers, and if you want your name to appear on the support wall at the end of my videos, join the higher tier. Thanks for watching.